Okay, so a couple more questions about graphing. The x-intercepts of a quadratic are at 1 and 11. So where is the axis of symmetry? So if you have x-intercepts at 1 and 11, what would you know about the axis of symmetry? Where would it have to line up with those points? It would have to be right center of them, right? Because these are symmetric points. So they have to be the same distance off of the axis of symmetry. So we have to write x equals, and does anybody know that x value then? You could do two things here. You could say what's 1 plus 11, 12, averaged is 6, right? You could do that way. Or you could say from 1 to 10, there's a distance, or 1 to 11, there's a distance of 10, which means you got to go 5 in each direction. So 1 plus 5, or 11 subtract 5, meets at 6. Write a possible equation for a quadratic. So how do we write an equation when we know the x-intercepts? Do you remember? We've been factoring, and factoring gets us the x-intercepts. What if I give you the x-intercepts? Can you work your way backwards? So if 1 is an x-intercept, what would a factor be? Right? Because if I give you this, if I gave you that, you would know the x-intercepts are 1 and 11. So now it's just working backwards. If I say to make this equation in general form, what would you do yet? Now you're going to have to FOIL it all out. Because I need a positive 1 to work in this bracket and a positive 11 to work in that bracket. Okay, so x squared, subtract 11x, subtract 1x plus 11. So now that would be in general form. Okay, a quadratic has a vertex of -1, 8. So there's a vertex somewhere over there. And then there's a point on this parabola at 1, 0. So therefore, I kind of know my parabola. I already know it's opening down. That's the only way to get to a lower point. Okay, so what's a really big piece of information I need to know? Big thing that I need to know. Do you know what it is? I need to know the slope. So I want you to think about how much did you go over and down to get to that point. So we were at -1 and we moved over to 1. So that was 2. And then we were at 8 and then we went to 0. So that was down 8. So if I think about my normal chart, did I do the normal pattern? I did not do the normal pattern. What do you think my multiplier is then? What is the slope? The A number is going to have to be -2. Okay, so now you have to fill in everything you know. Your vertex and your slope have to get filled in. Your X and Y position must remain open so that you can put any other points in there. So -2 goes in the multiplier spot. How do you fill the vertex in? What do you replace the H part with? +1, opposite. And in the Y, what do you put the K there? Subtract 8. You have to do the opposite. The H and the K have to be opposite.